welcome back to another Vlogmas. Please like and subscribe, turn on notifications. Kylie's here. In today's video, I wanted to talk about something I call unresolution. That may not make any sense to anybody, but basically it means that I don't have a New Year's resolution. I basically make small goals throughout the year. So like I'll start now, or I actually started a couple months ago with certain things. And I just wanted to make a video and encourage people to try that instead of like making this grandiose gesture the first day of the year, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I don't know, I always feel like that doesn't work. Anytime I've done a New Year's resolution, by the end of the month it's done. So I feel like, no, let's try to do something different. So this is for anyone who wants to try something different, who's interested in small goals. I know my face looks extra shiny in this video. Oh my god, and yes, I'm in my robe. I had to get this out, you know. So I'm going to go through some things that were really helpful for me in terms of my resolution. I think the first and foremost thing that was important for me this year to kind of resolve was a fitness journey and getting on top of my health. I'm not getting any younger. I really gained a lot of weight during the pandemic, before the pandemic, after the pandemic. So I really need to get on top of that. So one of the first things, or one of the things that I had for a while but I wasn't using, was my Fitbit. It's, you know, it's pretty purple. I wear it all the time. But on top of it being such a handy tool to tell you the time and how many steps you walk, it also has an app, which I'll try to insert the information somewhere in here, where you can keep track of food. You can keep track of your sleeping too, if you're having issues with sleeping. Keep track of your water, all different things. And it comes with the watch, the Fitbit. But if you don't want to buy a Fitbit and want to do it on the cheap, there's plenty of different apps. I'll link them down below that will work off your phone. I know Google Fit works off my phone as well. I have that on the phone as well. And it's free, and you can use that as well if you don't want to use that. If you don't want to wear that. And I'm sure a lot of you have like watches or whatever it's called. But yeah, that's been really helpful, keeping track of my steps. It kind of encourages me. I'll buzz and it'll give me a little like reminder. So I really enjoyed that. Also, tracking my food. I gotta tell you, tracking your food, the calories, not just the calories, but like the size, because I feel like, I don't know, for me, and you might think this is so weird, but I really didn't know, like, in terms of portion, how much I was eating and how much was, like, for example, an ounce, like 1 ounce of this or 1 ounce of that, or a teaspoon of this or a tablespoon of that. You know, I was just kind of guessing. So I went out and got like more. I got one of these adjustable teaspoons and tablespoons on top of what I already have. And I also got a scale, which I'll try to insert somewhere in here too, to measure out food so I can get the precise measurements. It might be a little extreme for some people, but I think slowly doing it and counting calories and figuring that out, if weight loss is your thing. I'm sure there's people who want to gain weight, so that's a different thing. And always consult a doctor. Like, just don't jump into this stuff. Ask your doctor, like, if you have any medical issues, or taking any medications. You should be incredibly careful of what you do. I take medication for my anxiety, so I'm always reading up and watching YouTube videos about different supplements that can help with weight loss. But I always kind of talk to my doctor about them, like, hey, what is this, you know, is this good for me? Will this interact with my medicine? I mean, I think that's important. Like, people kind of forget that, and I'll jump on a health bandwagon and buy a bunch of supplements, but don't realize that those supplements can interact with your medication and may worsen symptoms sometimes. So just be careful. Definitely, if you have access to a doctor, definitely contact the doctor before you do any of these things. Of course, I am not a specialist. I'm not a doctor myself, so this is just what worked for me so far, in terms of fitness and stuff, and drinking a lot of water. Drinking a lot of water and moving your body. Since March, I've lost 37 pounds, and yeah, that's been helpful. That Fitbit, the water, watching, figuring out portion sizes, um, moving your body. Yeah, definitely helped a lot. So, I mean, that's a small thing compared to everything else. And of course, I talked to my doctor. I don't have like a fitness coach or a nutritionist that I deal with, but I want to kind of incorporate that in the future. So there, yeah, that's a simple way of doing it. I think another thing that was really big for me is my finance. It's a giant monster. It's a giant dragon in my life, and there's so much you can do for yourself in terms of how you spend. I wasn't taught really good spending habits, but that's not an excuse to learn new spending habits, if you know what I mean. One of the big things I did was I bought this budget planner, and the budget planner is pretty great. It keeps month to month expenses. It has an expense sheet, so you put everything you spend, you put it in there, either cash or card. And it's been an eye opener. I didn't realize how much I was spending on stuff, and I was like, "Where is this money going?" And then now I'm like, "Oh, that's where it's going." So it's been really great for me. Also, I put the Credit Karma app on my phone. Not sponsored, by the way. And it helps me because I'm trying to build my credit again, because it's in the toilet. So seeing that and getting like notifications from that, and like seeing what's on your credit report. Obviously, you can do a yearly free credit report with all the different associations that do credit. But Credit Karma does like a daily, maybe weekly update, so you can see your number, and it's usually a little off. It's usually like, for example, I got my student loans forgiven. Yay! I thought that was never gonna happen. And so when it happened, it didn't show up on the report for another 2 weeks. So I kind of also didn't believe it was true because, I didn't know anybody who got their student loans forgiven. So I was like, yeah, okay, right. I'm going to have to pay this for the rest of my life. But 2 weeks later, there it was. It came off my report. So, I mean, that's a great tool as well. Just keeping track of stuff and just budgeting. It's one of those beasts that I still to today, like, I'm thinking, like, I think yesterday I spent on some stuff I didn't need to. I mean, it's Christmas and I'm trying to buy stuff, but I still put it on my tracker. I put it down so I know exactly where that money went. So yeah, that's something that I'm working on. All right, another big thing for me, which isn't a big thing, but I know a lot of people who have this issue, just keeping your apartment tidy when you're really, really, really busy can be a process. I've been trained since I was going to say, I have a Latina mom, so I'm good. It's for the rest of you. I've been trained since I was 7 to learn how to clean. 7, I tell you, 7. So I have a routine that I think is helpful, which works for me, like a daily routine. And so it helps with, like, because I feel like daily there's certain tasks you've got to do, and then weekly there's like additional tasks, and then there's monthly and yearly and all that stuff. But weekly for me, I'll start off with that. Weekly, when I come home at night, make sure all the dishes have been, I'll tell you this, I'm big on not going to bed with, with dirty dishes in the sink. Like, that's my one thing. Like, if it happens, I'm like sick or I'm just really stressed out, but it's usually not even a lot of things. It's probably like a fork and a bowl or something. But I try my best to every single night make sure those dishes are cleaned. And I don't have a dishwasher, so I wash them by hand and put them in a dish rack and make sure they're clean and the sink is empty and dried and, ready to go the next day. I'm afraid of roaches. And in New York, I live in a big apartment building, and you got to be careful about buggies and mices and all those things. So I have to keep clean. So that's the one thing. Make sure that the dishes are clean, and the sink is dry and clean. That all counters are clean. What I do is I just buy disinfectant wipes and wipe down the counters. Sometimes I just don't even go under the sink and do that. I'll just use the sponge and a paper towel and just clean up that. Swiffering the floor every day because my hair is falling out. So there's like dust bunnies everywhere. So I try to do that every single day, or every other day. Just make sure the floor is clean. And sometimes it ends up being that mopping. But that's when I'm really like neurotic. But Swiffering every day, making sure the bathroom's clean, making sure a really big thing in Japanese culture is making sure the toilet's clean. Like even if you just wipe it down, the top part, and not go in there and like clean the actual bowl, that's important. It's just I always think about, I don't know who told me this, but like you never know who's gonna come to your apartment. It's kind of like in the same theory as wearing clean underwear. Like, you never know who's going to see your underwear. Like, if you had an emergency and someone had to come in and they came into your apartment and it looks like, it's been ransacked. I mean, you'd be embarrassed. Right, Kylie? Right. So, just keeping it neat. I try to make my bed every day, but that's one that as long as it's, like, clean in here, I don't care. Like, the bed. Someone's going to be like, oh, she didn't make her bed today. But, I mean, I'm trying really hard to do that every day because it's just like that's one task that's like a great commitment. And, I think that's important. Hey, Editing Moss here. I forgot to mention with the Japanese culture thing, obviously they're clean people, they're orderly and stuff. It's actually the reason, on top of just being just fantastic people, the Japanese, because I love them so much. Cleaning the toilet keeping your toilet clean, I should say, is a way to welcome money. I don't know the logistics of it, but keeping a clean toilet, like millionaires and billionaires are very particular about making sure their toilet is clean. I mean, you should keep a clean toilet because you're gonna use it every day, and foul stuff goes down it. But to think that that's kind of a thing, like, yeah, you keep it clean because it's good luck to encourage money in. Also, a feng shui thing is keeping the toilet seat down. Don't leave your toilet seat open, because that apparently, maybe it goes with the with the clean toilet thing. If you keep the toilet seat open, that means your money will go down the drain. So always keep your toilet seat down. Okay, thanks. Now I will say, there's certain things I hate to do, like defrosting the refrigerator, cleaning these windows. New York windows are disgusting, but they need to be done. And a deep clean is really important at the end of the year. I would say start now, making sure everything's nice and clean for the new year. That's one thing that's kind of like in the resolution kind of sector that I'm always like, make sure that, my mom always said, make sure the house is clean for the new year so everything's good to go. And just, keeping things clean and neat. I know it's hard, especially when you're really busy, and I get it, but just if you commit to doing like 10 minutes just to make sure that counters are wiped down, and, and I get it. I've had instances where I'm just a pig and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm like, whoa, this apartment's piggy. But that's one thing I've committed to. So for me, those are like the unresolutions. Like, I didn't start that the first of the year. Making sure I clean daily, tracking food, tracking my money. That I started a couple months ago. I also understand that, gyms will do these sales, but I actually got a really good sale on Black Friday for a yoga class. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of these gyms going on sale are just scams. I don't know. If you want to get in shape now. Like, if you want to work on your finances, do it now. Even if, I didn't have a particular goal or with finances, I just wanted to get on track and stop spending mindlessly and, just track my money. And it wasn't like, oh, I got all this money that came in. No, really, it wasn't. It came from not having money. And the same with like fitness goals and food and stuff. It wasn't because suddenly I got this program or, there's no magic bullet. There's nothing like extraordinary. It's just if you're willing to do it and you're willing to commit to it. And like they said, it takes like 21 days to commit to it. And I think that's, really critical for you to figure out like what do you need to work on. Another thing that I just realized, oh, excuse me, is kind of like working on sort of my mind in terms of like relaxing and being being less monkey mind. I'm all over the place. So I started meditating in the morning and playing affirmations, and that's helped a lot with calming me down. I did it for a while, and then I had some stuff happen to me. I had a friend pass away suddenly, and I went and I saw a therapist, and I'm on medication, which I said I would never do, but at this case, I feel like it's been critical for me. So that stuff has really helped so much in terms of like mentality. And I think after dealing with a modern day plague, or whatever you want to call it, that's what I'm calling it. I think everybody needs some therapy. If you can afford it. I get that, I live in America and I'm fortunate to have insurance that I can pay for it. A lot of people don't have that option. I'd like to look up maybe I'll look up some places that I can post down below that are free options or, cost efficient options for you. I know that's really hard, prior to having medical insurance, I mean, I wouldn't see anybody, and you don't want it to get somewhere where you can't help yourself, and asking for help is really brave and important. If you need it, you really need it. And unfortunately, we live in a country where, because we have to pay for medical insurance, it's not available to everybody. But I'm going to try to find some resources and put them in the bottom. I was thinking about doing one like New Year's resolution-y thing that I like to do. Do a vision board. I think a vision board's pretty great. I think I'm gonna go buy like a board. What I usually do is I still subscribe to magazines. I love magazines, mostly like travel magazines and like home, like architectural digests and stuff like that. I like looking at people's homes and I like to look at destinations. Who knew? So I have magazines for that, but I also like kind of go on Pinterest. Pinterest is a great resource for a lot of these things that I'm talking about too, by the way. And I kind of like look up stuff and look up photos and put it on my phone and go to like a CVS or Duane Reade and print it out there and put it on the board. I might do a video on how I do my vision board, because it's not that hard and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I actually went to a vision board party one time, but this I'll just kind of do just to show you guys, just to say that that's the one kind of, that and eating 12 grapes. But that's more superstitious. That's more superstitious. And like when I do the end of year deep clean of the apartment, I put a little droplets of Florida water in my cleaner. Don't judge. Hey, anything that works. It's the 12 grapes, a little Florida water. At least I don't do the thing. There's people who do the luggage thing. So there are people who will take their luggage and they'll like before or during New Year's, they'll like run around the block with the luggage. So that way this new year they'll get to travel. I think that's silly. I don't know about that. All right, so I know this video is kind of short, but I wanted to touch on that on resolution. I hope that's helpful. I'll put some resources in the bottom. I'd love to hear what you guys are on resolution. I can't even say the word. What you guys are doing right now to improve yourself. Yeah, I'd like to travel more, and that's probably why I also want to budget my money. And because I do gig work, It's money can be really sporadic, but I can have control of it. I shouldn't feel like I have no control over that, as well as my weight and just my general health, you know, and my mentality. So I'll post some resources below. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. If you guys want me to do like a vision board video, I'd love to do it and to give you some good ideas. But besides that, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you some other time. Bye.